This one skill will give you an unfair advantage over people who are way more talented, rich, privileged, and successful than you are. Let's start with a famous story of a Zen master and an arrogant warrior. A warrior storms into the temple, sword in hand, and demands the Zen master, "Teach me about heaven and hell." The Zen master looks at him and says, calmly, "You're a disgrace, a brute with a sword?" Pretending to be a warrior, the warrior then turns red with rage. His hand goes with his sword, ready to strike. The master then quietly says, "This, my son, is hell." The warrior freezes. He suddenly realizes what just happened with him. His anger almost controlled him. He bowed, overwhelmed with gratitude. The master smiled and said, "And that, my son, is heaven." So, the moment you're triggered is the moment you're being tested. Heaven and hell are not places. They are emotional states that you enter depending on how you respond. You work really hard on a project and someone else takes the credit, and you start bad mouthing them in the entire office. You work hard, eat healthy, go to the gym all week, and one moment of frustration and you binge eat and ruin all your progress. The most obvious example is of Will Smith at the Oscars. Decades of credibility, talent, and admiration. And in one emotional reaction, the narrative just flipped overnight. That's how fast reputation works. One reaction can outweigh 1,000 good decisions. And I'm not saying this from a pedestal. I have actually lived this. I started working when I was about 18 years old. And in my early years, I ruined some genuinely valuable connections because I reacted emotionally. Back then, I did not understand politics or provocation. I didn't understand that sometimes people don't want a response, they want a reaction. And I just gave right into them. Here's what nobody will tell you early in your life, but I will. When you start progressing, you will attract a lot of envy. And out of that envy, people will bait you, they'll poke you, they'll undermine you, they'll dismiss you, target you. Not because you're unlikable, but because you're doing something right that they are unable to do. So they will do what they know best, which is to bring you down. And the moment you react emotionally, that's it. They won. They got the better of you. Emotional outbursts work like this. You move 5 steps ahead through discipline, consistency, and hard work. And one uncontrolled reaction pushes you 5 steps back, and sometimes even more. You lose it all because you could not stay calm. You win only when you do not react, not when you explain, defend, or prove your point. Silence, composure, calmness. This is what keeps you from missing some really important connection in a moment of rage. Let me remind you this. The people who go the farthest aren't the loudest or the most aggressive. They are the ones who know when not to react. So the skill you're looking for, my friend, is emotional regulation. If you master just this one skill, that's all. No one can stop you from becoming successful, respected, fit, and happy. Emotional regulation is an unfair advantage because it protects everything that you've built. It keeps you 5 steps ahead when others keep falling back down and resetting their progress. And emotional regulation does not mean being emotionless. It means that your emotions don't get to make decisions for you. Careers, relationships, reputations, they are rarely ruined by one big mistake. They are ruined by one small emotional moment that was not controlled. The truth is, others cannot succeed in destroying your reputation unless you react and prove their story believable. Let's do this small exercise to understand if your emotional regulation is good or poor. Grab a book and pen and ask yourself these 3 questions honestly. Number 1 is, do I regret messages, emails, or conversations after sending them when I'm emotional? If yes, that's reactivity. Question number 2 is, do I feel the urge to immediately explain, defend, or prove myself when I'm triggered? If you act on this urge more often than not, then you're a reactive person. Question number 3 is, does my heart race or body feel tense when I feel disrespected even before I can process it? If the answer is yes, this means that your emotional brain hijacks the thinking brain. And this is the moment when you're capable of ruining good things. And if you've answered yes to 2 or more of these questions, then emotional regulation in your case is being run by an impulse. Here's the key insight. Emotional regulation does not mean that you will not feel angry. But even though you feel angry, your anger will not get to act through you. If you want to understand how I went from an emotionally reactive person early on to a calm person, let me know in the comments below and I'll make a full video on how you can improve your emotional regulation for good. Another thing that keeps most of us stuck is overthinking. So if you want to shut that down and make space for what really matters, click here to learn how to stop overthinking in just 5 minutes. I'll see you in the next one. Love you.